Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Cadillac Counselor, David Brooks. Just reaching out to you today. It's Wednesday. We're on like 37th day of isolation. So we're just trying to reach out, especially to the recovery community. The recovery community I have a passion for that, and this is what this is all about. Yes, I goof off, and yeah, I have different things. Last night we did a little freestyle just for the fun of it. But the main thing for us is that we want to really talk about what's going on in the community, and then how this process works in recovery. And sometimes we talk about children, sometimes we talk about adults. But the main thing today is we're going to talk about just like what the recovery process looks like. And then we're going to talk about kind of criminogenics and what it's about. And you'll find out. So without any further ado, I want to introduce to you Sam Gnu, and he will tell you a little bit about him. I like GNU, but I've always said it wrong, so there's no point in changing it now. But the good thing about it is he's a really good guy, and he loves the process of recovery. So I just want him to kind of tell you his process and how he got to this point. So, Sam, tell him a little bit about you.
All right. Well, yeah, my name is Sam Gano. I was born and raised in Frederick, Maryland my entire life. Went to school at Ballinger Creek, then Tuscarora, then went to college at Towson in Baltimore. Right out of college, I got a job teaching the kids at a private school doing PE, which I didn't go to school for, but I fell in love with and all that. And so I've been working with kids ever since. I work at FCPS at Lincoln Elementary now, and also with the Boys and Girls Club. Throughout my process, though, I've gone through some hard times. In 2017, I would say was my worst year. Just making wrong decision, going off to rehab and stuff like that. And to the point where New Year's Eve 2017, I got my whole entire family together, and I just laid it all out on the table, everything I've been doing, manipulating them with, and everything. And they basically took me under their wing, took my phone, took social media away for however long it needed to be. And I just listened to all their suggestions on how to beat this, because I tried everything and it hadn't really worked. And thankfully, since that day, January 1st, 2018, I've been clean of all substances, and it's just been working out great for me with my support system, the meetings, having faith, and all of that has just really attributed to keeping me strong in my recovery and not going back down that path.
So, I mean, tell me this. What's the hardest part about being in recovery? What's that thing that just is it's a hurdle, and you've gotten over the hurdle, but it still takes a lot of effort to get over it. What's that thing that makes it difficult?
Well, for me, I know it's hard. I always try to explain myself to people. Okay. And so even after making all these bad choices, I would feel so much guilt and want to explain to people why I did what I did and why I still battle with these demons. Like, even in recovery, I have bad days where I don't want to talk to anyone. I would isolate before we all are isolating. And people would question, like, oh, is he going back down? And, like, they just didn't know that even though the substances are gone, I still have issues going on that I need to battle, of whether it be self-esteem thoughts, whether it be, you're not good enough, or, that voice tells you, come on, just try a little bit. No one's doing anything right now, stuff like that. So it's just been the inner struggle for me to try to just, put on a smiling face every day for the kids, stay energetic, stay passionate, which most of the time is easy to do, but I do still have those days where I just want to escape.
So part of your story was that that you went and told your parents everything that was happening in your life. And you said that their advice to you, because I know I had many conversations with your parents, and they took like your phones. They were kind of over your finances. Like they
be in the house if they weren't in there.
They wasn't in the house. So what would you say to parents that are struggling with their child with an addiction problem? What would you say to them? Speak to the parents.
Well, the first thing I would say is do not blame yourself at all. I've run into a lot of instances where people know my past and they come to me about a family member or something, and they're all with guilt of what I could have done different or what can I do to finally get through to them. And I just got to tell them, there's really not anything you can do. Like, for example, when I got all my family together, if one of my brothers or something got everyone together without my permission or anything, I don't think it would have been as successful.
Why?
I had just gone down the road so much that I was ready to make these decisions, to listen to everyone's suggestion, but to get everyone together. So the first thing, I would say, do not blame yourself. It is all up to the addict or alcoholic to get better and want to get better themselves. And I don't know, that's a hard question because there's really no blueprint to how to recover. And so for some people it could be constant tough love, taking everything away from them or letting them know, this is why I'm doing this because I care about you.
Yeah.
Or for someone else it could be never accusing, always just being there to listen, never judging them, because addicts can turn off real quick if they think you're judging them or they're doing something because of a different reason. So
yeah.
I just think all that together.
So I see your mom on here, and your mom says that your mom says, "Hey Sam, I'm your biggest fan." What does that mean to you? Just to even see that your mom is on here watching, and she says that she's your biggest fan. What does that mean?
It means the world to me, man. Like we talked about last night and stuff, having that support system in my family has been the major factor in keeping this on the right track. But let's not forget, we've definitely been through our times, especially early on, just because of the whole, not ignorance, but just not knowing about an addict. Like, they've never had to deal with that in our family or anything like that. So early on, it was, why can't you just stop? Look what you're doing. Do you have any morals or values with your decisions? Look, you're stealing from your grandmother's money and stuff like that. And so it took time to just be patient with me, which I'm glad they were.
Yeah.
I gained trust very slowly back with them, which was the best way, not all at once and not never, because then we all get frustrated and want to go back. So it was just really helpful that they were always supportive of me, whether it was tough love or now we're in good times where it's just great love, where we can see each other, be happy to see each other, talk on the phone, text, whatever it may be. So good. I'm really great for my family.
Yeah, and but to the people though, I wanted to say that parents struggle a lot because they want to step in and they want to fix the problem. And the thing about this is that you cannot fix the problem. You can be there to support them, but they have to do it on their own. And so I like this story because I saw the whole thing unfold, and now I get a chance to see this part blossom. So that's very rare that I get a chance to see all aspects of the situation. So let's talk about criminogenics for a second. And so, I'm always pushing criminogenics. That's my main focus. So tell the people kind of your experience when you first walked in and started doing groups that were criminogenic focused, even though you didn't have a criminal background. How did you see it?
Yeah, well, like I said, early on, I was still having problems being judgmental and stuff. So when I walked into a couple of your groups, I'm not like these people. I have a steady job. I have a great family. Hearing all their problems, I couldn't really relate. I'm not battling custody issues or anything like that. or jail time or when my next court date is. But then when we started to talk, I realized we think the exact same, just on everyday stuff, on why they said that or what will benefit me today and how I do this. But like I was saying last night, yeah, just listening to them and then hearing the activities you had for me and realizing even though I didn't have like a criminal background, I still have plenty of criminal behavior, bending the rules to my way and just thinking, this is Sam's world, everyone else is living in it. And that took me down a bad path.
The crazy thing about it is if you take my program and you go through my groups, the very first question that you were going to be faced with was, do you lie every day? And I'm going to tell you, man, that is one of the hardest questions for people to answer because they will justify it and be like, no, I don't. And then my next question to them is so how often? And so then I say maybe like, so do you lie once a week? Do you lie, every other day? And so when they start to really process that, you start to realize that these behaviors are every single day. Like we're manipulating someone every day. We're not trusting somebody every day. We're not being honest every day. And that's the problem. That's the deep root of addiction, not just the use of drugs. So to tell them kind of what the process. So like as you went through it and you started to kind of understand the process, how did it work like in relationships? How did Criminogenics help in relationships? How did it like with if you have a girlfriend or parents, like how does that help the criminogenic factors?
Well, it helps with my relationships once I started being honest. Like I said early on, it helped for me. I didn't really have a chance to lie just because I had so much support, kind of not under surveillance, but they were constantly checking up on me. Like I said, I couldn't be in the house if my parents were somewhere and not in the house. And so that's where it started out with me, just simply being honest about where I'm going and what I'm doing. That would be my main thing of lying about. Like, oh, I'm just going to watch a movie with a friend, or oh, I'm doing this, when really I'd be doing the exact opposite. So just gaining those skills of saying, hey, I'm going to go to volleyball tonight, open gym, and then I'll be back, and actually doing it. Like, that seems so little to people, but for me, it was like, it builds integrity. It just... And I would even like send pictures of me at first at the volleyball club, like, hey, I'm here, guys, just to ease their mind because I know I created this monster. So I can get mad all I want about them questioning me 24/7, but I got to know that I created this. And so I just went along with it and did what I needed to do to build that trust slowly through my behavior, through not lying, not manipulating, not sneaking around, trying to do anything shady at all. And I think they saw that gradually to the point where we sat down and they started to give me a little more freedom at a time. Like, you can be in the house if we have to run to the store and stuff like that. So
good.
It just helped that it was a gradual process.
Good. So, with all of the stuff that you learn, what type of... How do you take the criminogenic stuff that you learn in your own life and hand it down to the children that you have at like Lincoln Elementary or Boys and Girls Club? How do you translate that information to the little kids?
I just try to relate it to their level. Could be something as simple as, oh, you went through the lunch line and got a milk and didn't pay for it, or stuff like that. Little things I see, dishonest behavior, overreacting at certain things I can relate to, like blowing it out of proportion to play the victim and stuff like that. So I'll try to take them aside if I see that and just say, hey, now let's look at it from their perspective. You did this to them, and that's why they would or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And sometimes it helps them see it from a different perspective. But yeah, just little behaviors that I can catch of, oh, you're on your Chromebook acting like you're doing your work, but you're on YouTube. That's deceitful behavior. That is little now, but it can grow to bigger things.
And that's the thing.
I just gotta catch it when I can and shed my knowledge and say, hey, man, that's not really going to help us in the long run. So let's try to do this the right way.
So, I'm gonna just be honest. Let's just be blunt. You're a white guy that pretty much is working with predominantly minority kids. Like, how do they relate, or do you see any barriers in that, or like how does that play out?
Well, it does help that I'm so hip, but no, I do actually see that. But luckily, I don't know. I can just relate to them because whether it be sports, whether it be the music they're listening to, we have similar interests. I know all about the current events, and if they have new shoes, I like to compliment them on that and stuff. So I just think, from my position, I can kind of come down to their level sometimes and just kind of be a buddy as well as a mentor. And so I think that's the way I've connected with them, by piquing interest in what their interests are. I've read somewhere that that's like big with the youth.
Yeah.
And so stuff like TikTok, all the youth loves TikTok right now. So what do? Make a TikTok, call it Mr. G, and I've started dancing in videos and so that they can laugh at me, like it, comment, whatever. And so I've just seen that I've been able to build relationships through that way. And it's not really, I haven't really ran into many like race barriers. The only thing is I can't relate to them, you know, poverty-wise or anything that they might be going through, because I had such a fortunate childhood.
Yeah.
That, for example, here's a story. Like, one of our kids has been missing a library book for like weeks. Okay. So the librarian was getting on him about it. So I pulled him aside. I said, hey, bud, just when you get home, go up to your room or go to your room and look for that book everywhere. And he just looked at me and said, Mr. G, I don't have a room. And just like something like that, it just hit me like, wow, I've never had to experience that in my life.
Heartbreaking.
And just hadn't even thought about that. Yeah. So it just kind of took me back and just thought, wow, these kids are fighting fights that I never had to at an early age. So I just need to be there for them through whatever.
Man, you know, you were saying that there was a time when I was in Houston, I was coaching baseball, and when I was coaching baseball, it was funny because I had a kid who was just always late to practice. You know what I mean? And so his parents would drop him off, and I kept on being like, hey, you're going to run. You're going to run. Stop being late. You got me? And so one day he called me, and he was like, hey, I need you to come pick me up. And I was like, okay. So I get to the house, and it's like going down. Like you could see it was popping. And so I was like, is such and such there? And they were like, yeah, he's somewhere. And I go through the house, and I'm like looking like, wow. And I finally see him, and I'm like, hey, you got a game? And he's like, man, I've told my parents. I've told them to drop me off. You got me? And I was like, where's your clothes at? He was like, look around. You got me? So it got to the point where literally I had to go pick him up every game. I would take his clothes off right then, go wash them, and keep them in my car. And every time that he had practiced our game, I had his glove. I bought him a bag because he felt bad because the rest of the kids had bags and he didn't have a bag. So a lot of times when we're working with children, and like I was talking to my brother yesterday, if we don't connect with them, it doesn't matter what we're teaching. Teaching means nothing. But if you connect with them, and they'll listen to anything you have to say. So I commend you on what you're doing in the community, and honestly, just keep it up, you know, because we need more people like you that will sacrifice and then go back into the trenches to help out. What would you say, you know, as a last kind of wrap up for people in the COVID that are struggling with addictions? Because to be honest, we got a lot of people dying due to COVID. I mean, we're probably up around, just in our county, we're probably, 2 or 3 a week, I think right now, that people are dying just over overdose. So what would you say to people that are struggling with addictions and their inactive use while during the COVID?
Honestly, just to try to stay strong. I know that for a lot of people, the fear of the unknown is getting people out of whack and like thinking crazy things. But for an addict, we've gone right into the unknown plenty of times. What are they going to have? Are they going to rob me this time? Are they going to have what I need? So I just think that they need, like I had, the support system. They need to reach out to somebody. I know that there's virtual meetings going on through NA and AA and stuff like that. But also just try to find that faith. That could help in a time, just picking up a Bible if you have it in your house. Because I know this isolation can just do wonders on someone's brain that has someone constantly talking to you, telling you to do something. And I always think, like, people say, like, it's the only disease where it tells you that you don't have a disease. Yeah. So it's so conniving that it's like, it will manipulate you into thinking, oh, you're fine. No one's doing anything. Just stay home and get high, whatever it may be. Yeah. And I hope they watch these videos. They're watching you. You're keeping me, like, uplifted and seeing your boys and all that. Just trying to reach out and stay a part of a community as much as you can. Because I also have seen things that say, like, the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety. It's connection and community. So having those people that have your back and are looking out for you just means the world to you, that you don't want to let them down and you want to be held accountable in a way. So I just encourage them to reach out. Do not isolate to the point where you're not contacting anybody. It'll just get worse from there. So just try to hold on, and hopefully we start seeing the curve go down a little bit in these next couple weeks.
Good. Well, man, hey, I thank you for coming on. I know the people will thank you for just your experience, your strength, and your hope. So congratulations on 2.5 years still sober, and just keep on going, man. And anything you need from me, you contact me. I got you.
Appreciate it. And I just wanted to say to the Facebook family, this man is amazing. He doesn't get a lot of credit. He's very humble about what he does. But without him, and you can ask my family, I wouldn't be near the man I am today with everything he taught me, with everything we've been through, listening and all that. So I just really want to thank you for everything you've done for me and just the continued support throughout these years. I haven't gone to one of your groups in over a year, but we still talk and all that and keep in touch. And that means a lot to me. So just want to thank you and your family. Oh,
hey, man, I appreciate the love. But, hey, I'm going to tell you, it ain't me. I just was able to watch it. Yeah. Hey, guys. Hey, I don't know who. I didn't even pay him for that, but I think he's kind of sucking up to me. So don't believe anything that he's saying. I'm just trying to do what I can. Other than that, it is what it is. I mean, we're in this fight. I know people are listening and they're watching, and just know that my heart is that people get better. People's mental health gets better. People's substance get better. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest, my heart really is for people that have been selling drugs and doing a lot of criminal behavior, because a lot of people just write them off. And I believe that it can be rehabilitated. It's crazy. I went for a job right before I started my own business, and it was for the state of Maryland, and it was to be a director for the juvenile system. And when I went through the application process, they pretty much gave me the job on the spot. And then when they found out that I had sold drugs in the past and that I had a criminal record, they told me I was no longer qualified. And so what kills me is that what is rehabilitation if you don't believe in it? And so with me, I'm so glad that I didn't get that job, and I'm able to have a platform like this so that I can really work for the people and without all the biases and the stigma. So I thank you guys for just hanging out with me every day. And I know some of the things that I do are crazy, and some of the things that I talk about might not be politically correct, but to be honest, who cares? It is what it is. I just want to be here for you guys. So, hey, Ricky, I see you. Chris, I see you. I see Mom. Sam's mom is still on. Thank you, guys. I even see Troy up there. I don't know what he's doing, but hey, thanks for hanging out every single day. It's the Cadillac Counselor. It's Sam. We had fun today. I hope you did too. Bye.